Hello my friends, thanks for taking the time out of your day to join me. I'm Dennis and Canoehound Adventures. On today's episode we're going to be heading back into the day camp, and I'm going to be doing my Show Me Your Stake challenge in support of men's mental health. This past week I was actually tagged by a fellow YouTuber, Grim Raven. Thank you very much for the tag, I appreciate it. Hope I can do you proud. What the Show Me Your Steak challenge is basically us as outdoorsmen. We can go out there, we can cook ourselves a nice steak, and what the purpose is actually to sit down and actually talk about men's mental health. It's something that doesn't get spoken of or discussed very often, and especially from individuals who may suffer from some sort of bad mental health. But we'll get into that a little more once we get into the backwoods, into the day camp. And we will we'll cook ourselves a nice steak, get a nice hot fire rocking with some coffee, and we'll talk a little bit about men's mental health. So we'll see you out in the forest. Somebody's happy to be in the bush again. Let's go, Molly. So guys and gals, I'm sorry I keep saying guys all the time, but yeah, so we're just making a trek out here to day camp. We're trying out actually a couple new pieces of camera gear too. Some stuff that I just recently picked up, just tripods and things of that sort, and just want to see how that works out. So if there's a few glitches, please do bear with me. Don't drop my subscription just because of my bad or my poor video skills, because I am learning and things are getting better on a daily basis. So yeah, we're just gonna head on out here, and if I see anything interesting on the way out, I will get a couple shots of it. There's the day camp. Okay guys, not sure if you could actually hear this, but we got a woodpecker in the area. Just got to my camp and I'm just cleaning things up a bit, and I could hear him tapping away on a tree. I don't think I'll be able to get a shot of him unless he comes a little closer, but you can hear him. Okay, so what I'm doing right now, just wanted to set up a little bench in here so I can get my fire pit set up. Something that I was envisioning the last time I was here, the way that I wanted to set things up. I may move the fire pit in a little closer so that the heat is centralized in this area, because right now it's about 5 or 6 feet away or 7 feet away, and Molly's excited. But yeah, I'm just going to make this a little more comfy, and then we're going to get on with making a fire and getting that steak challenge going. So yeah, it's going to be a fun day today, I think. Just been bucking up some firewood, and you know what I just realized? This tree right here, she's uprooted. And she's precariously hanging over my day camp. So I think what's going to happen here is, I'm pretty sure it's going to be safe enough for today. And yeah, it would be this tree right here. You can see how it's leaning. And if we take a look up high, you can see she's leaning, being held up by the other, I think it's a maple tree. So in my cleaning up this area, I think next time I come out, I'm going to bring proper tools, and I will remove this tree just so I don't have any inherent danger of this thing falling on my head. But in this at the same time, man, that's going to give me a lot of building materials here and a lot of firewood. So maybe on the next episode out, as I continue to improve on my day camp here, we will utilize that thing and make some nice little furniture, cutting blocks and things of that sort. When you're out here and it's minus 10 degrees, probably maybe minus 15 with the wind chill, mind you, most of the wind is probably blocked off in here right now. But it's quite amazing how when I first come out here, my hands were very chilled, my fingertips were cold because I was shooting the intro video back at the truck and I had bare hands. And as soon as you get work and you start moving things around, you know, I'm collecting some firewood for the fire and just like working quickly on this little makeshift bench. It's amazing how fast you warm up. Probably won't be long, I'll be shedding the coat. And I've already switched from my warm weather gloves to just a pair of leather work gloves. So I can get some work done and a little easier to handle wood and things like that. So as you can see, got the fire going here. Now we're just gonna build up a nice coal bed, get this fire nice and warming, and we'll start working on the Show Me Your Steak challenge and my little chit chat about men's mental health. A little thirsty, Molly. All right, funny thing. Have my pot set propped up on here so that I can get my coffee going, and the wood had it propped up on top of some pieces of wood, and the wood burned down and I almost lost my my pot of water. So we're getting very close to a full rolling boil. This is going to be like just a cowboy coffee. I'm going to just dump my coffee grounds in there, going to set it off to the side and just sort of let it percolate. As you can see, I'm getting really close to a full rolling boil. Settle in. And it won't be long, and I'll be unveiling the steak that was so graciously donated to me by Rick Lowe's at Country Corner Market. Rick is a very good staple in the community. Yep. Woohoo! Little boil over there with the coffee going on. Not a problem. But Rick, when he heard I was doing this challenge, was generous enough to say, you know what, that sounds like a great cause. He appreciates what I was going to take on and do, and said that he would be so gracious as to donate me a steak. And when you see this baby, it's a prime rib steak with some great marbleization. I will put a link in the bio or in the description below to Country Corner Market, where you can check them out. Like I say, they sell nothing but the best cuts of meat. Rick is really, I'll go on a limb to say that he's world renowned for his sausage. He's taken on the nickname of the Sausage Nazi, and he has like over 30 different flavors. But as I mentioned, Rick is a very, very good person. He does a lot of community, and he has a lot of community involvement. And Country Corner Deli is definitely a favorite in the Niagara region. And if you're ever down this way, look them up and give them a shot, man, because like I say, their steaks are steaks, chicken, pork, turkey, cold cuts, everything, sausages. They make some good stuff there. So Rick, thanks again. You don't know how much I appreciate you going out on a limb and actually donating this steak to me today. Hey, so I've got the fire going now, and it's starting to rock pretty good, and we're gonna get them coals going. So I think I'll take this this opportunity to do my little talk about men's mental health. As I mentioned earlier, it's a conversation that not very often had, just because people don't like to talk about their feelings. They don't like to express themselves. And men's mental health, or mental health for anybody as far as that goes, covers such a wide spectrum. You know, you got people with anxiety issues, depression, you know, lack of self-confidence is something that has to do with mental health, and a whole other, you know, plethora of things. But today I'm not going to talk about anybody else, and I'm no professional on this by all means. This is really a difficult conversation to speak about, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. This is going back deep into my soul from for many years. I myself am not the most confident person in the whole world, self-admittedly. Back around 1999, 2000, I had a real struggle with anger issues. I used to work in a factory, and I spent 25 years in there, and left that place just to get myself back into check. Every day I would go to work, and I would dread going in, absolutely dread going in. For the first 15 years, the place was a great place to work, and then times had changed and things really changed, and before you knew it, you weren't a person in there. You were just a commodity to them. You were an asset. And they stopped treating people with dignity and respect. And these are the people who actually you know, were keeping the company alive and making the money for them. And how that related to me and how it affected me was, I started becoming depressed. I started becoming very, very angry with the world. It was something that, you know, I dreaded going into work every day. I would come home, I would be miserable based on the way things were transpired throughout the day. And it went on like this for a number of years. At the time, I had obviously my lovely wife and 2 young daughters. And because I became so unapproachable, not just by my family, but by others, that started losing friendships. Had a lot of family issues with the parents and things of that sort. And ultimately, I almost lost my family over it. My daughters, because I did work so often, and it's kind of ironic that I would go to work and work overtime in a place that I was so miserable with. But my daughters, at one point, because I was gone so often to work, that they didn't want to come to their dad. They almost lost contact with their dad. They found me unapproachable. They were afraid of me because the smallest things would make me snap, and I would get angry over the stupidest things. Finally, after a long while of that, very difficult to speak about, my wife, who I love dearly, we've been married for over 26 years now, she actually gave me the ultimatum. She says, well, not even an ultimatum, she told me she wanted a divorce. And that really grounded me at that point. It put me into a whole whirlwind, and at that point I had to start determining what I wanted to do with my life. Were my anger issues worth losing my family over? And ultimately, no, it's not. And things went by for like a year, and you know, my wife and I, we did not separate. We stayed together, and thank you, Cheryl, for that. And you know what? It's the best thing that ever happened to me was she actually opened my eyes, and she made me seek out the help that I needed. And the help that I needed, like, you know, sure, yeah, there was some a little bit of counseling that I had taken, but I took it upon myself to make sure that I could rehabilitate myself, and that took on a lot of life-changing measures. The first thing I started doing was realizing that the poison really was the place that I worked at, and I started to seek out other avenues, things that I can do to better my life and to try and get myself out of there. And I started a small business, and it continued to grow. And then after about 3 or 4 years of that, I started the current business that I'm in now. So at one point we had 2 businesses going, but the reason I was doing that, and I was working so hard at it, as well as still carrying a factory job, I managed to get myself into a position where I can leave the job that I hated so much. And that happened around probably a good 7, 8 years ago now. Actually, more than that, probably 10 years ago, because my print shop's been in business now for just over 10 years. So, sorry people, I'm not crying. I got smoke in my face. The fire's starting to smoke up. I think I'm gonna shift it around here. So I'm just gonna move us around so I haven't got the smoke coming to my face, and put some more wood in there. So ultimately, the thing sorry, I lost track of where I was. So ultimately, I took things into my own hands, and I started changing the outlook that I had on my life. I let the little things not bother me anymore. You know, I let little things go. I used to be a very confrontational person, where somebody would say the sky is blue, and I tell them no, it's black. And you know what? How stupid is that? That I always had to think that I was right, and it's not the case now. So now, basically, what I've done is I've turned my life around. I've got myself a good circle of friends, good family, and we're just you know, getting by day, and things are looking a lot better here in 2019. I have a loving wife. I have 2 fantastic daughters. I'm fortunate enough to still have my parents, and like I say, we got a good circle of friends that we hang out with. Everybody always seems to be positive and upbeat. And I find if you're suffering any type of any type of mental illness or anything like that, that, you know, first off, don't do anything rash. Try to support yourself, or find people around you that can help support you. The more positives you have in your life, the better things will look, and it makes the future so much bright. You can get over a lot of stuff like that. Not every day is going to be a perfect day. You know, we all have those things where things go awry, and you know, things just don't seem right. And yeah, it could be a bit of a gray sky, but if you work your way through that and you push forward and do something like this, get outside and enjoy the outdoors. You know, out here, there's not a care in the world. You know, you come out here, you're, in my case today, just trying to stay warm, doing this type of thing. I get to spend time with my dog. I'm just getting set up to go on an ice fishing trip with a bunch of friends next week. And try to surround yourself with positive things. You know, the more happiness you have in your life, the less stresses and ailments that you'll have, even health-wise. So ultimately what I'm saying, surround yourself with good people, seek any support that you need if you have crises or issues. Do not do anything rash, and stay with the people that you love. You'll always get support out of the people that you love. So, like I said, this is very difficult to speak about. I hope I didn't bore you with this. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get this fire rocking a bit. It's starting to die down a bit because I want to get my steak cooking. But like I say, people, live a happy life. Get out here in the great outdoors. Believe me, it'll do so much for your mental state, whether you're a guy or a gal. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. Time for the unveiling. Bring on the meat. As I mentioned, this video is kind of sponsored by Rick at Country Corner Market. Molly's right in here. She's really interested in what I have. And this is the piece of meat that Rick had so generously donated to me. We've got a very nice prime rib steak. Molly, down. Take a look at that, people. No, Molly's getting excited. And reason why I wanted this particular steak is because I get the meat, Molly's gonna get the bone. Don't take that the wrong way. I always like to share with Molly, so she's gonna get this nice prime rib bone, and that'll keep her quiet once the steak is all cooked up. So the coal bed is almost ready to go, and once that's ready to go, this bad boy is going directly on the coals. And then while I'm eating this steak, I've got 3 YouTubers out there who, firstly, I contacted to make sure that they would be up for the challenge. But I will be tagging them on this video so that they can do their Show Me Your Steak challenge in support of men's mental health. So you can see somebody's really excited and really wants this steak. But how about a cookie? Okay, get back up. I know you're excited. Sorry for the smoke, folks, but the wind keeps shifting directions and it's coming right at my bench. So here we are, time to put it on. Let's get this rib steak to a nice medium cook. And yep, already got a coal sticking to it. There we have it. This is looking fine. So many people ask me, when I cook directly on the coals like this, doesn't it get full of ashes, and don't the coals stick to it, and doesn't it burn? You know what, amazingly enough, no. Enough juices come out of the meat that it's kind of self-cleaning, just like a bar of soap. Yeah, you know, all I've seasoned it with is salt and pepper, and it's just yeah, it's just cooking on there. The odd little coal might stick to it, but you use the stick and you flick it off, and everything is good. But yeah, like I said, there's no better way to cook a steak. I like my steak a bit on the rare side. I think I'm gonna pull this bad boy off of here in a moment. Whew, sorry, smoke. And gonna let it rest for a few minutes. Pour a cup of coffee, and then we're gonna get into this thing. Get this on a warm plate. Let's take a little look at this. You see that? Let's let that rest for a few minutes, cut the bone off, and Molly's going to have a feast too. Just going to add a bit of cold water to this coffee to get the grounds to settle. Yeah, a touch more. There we go. And I'm going to pour myself a little bit of this coffee now into the secondary pot. I'm going to end up with some coffee grounds in here, but you know what? No big deal. Everybody could use a little fiber in their diet. Oh yeah, guys, a little cowboy coffee. Molly thinks that the steak is ready for her, so a couple sips of this and we're going to cut into that steak. Good coffee. And it's still hot. Okay, so let's pull this steak out. She sat for a few minutes here. So I'm gonna cut into this thing. Oh my. Oh, this is a beautiful piece of meat. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send Molly on her way with her bone, because otherwise Canoehound's not gonna get a chance to eat. You want this? You want this bad girl? You're a good girl. Here you go. Oh yeah. Take it away. Oh yeah. I can't believe she let it touch the ground. Hey guys, sorry about that. Yeah, of course, battery died on the phone, or on the camera, and of course at the most inopportune time. Just when I'm showing off my prized possession here from Country Corner Market. So here it is. I had to put it back on the fire because while I was changing the battery, it cooled off, and I want a nice warm steak to eat. And so I just put it back on a bit, and let's finish cutting into this and see. Oh yeah, look at that. You can see I like my steaks medium to medium rare, and to me that's cooked perfectly. Oh my. Oh, now this will bring tears to your eyes. This thing is so tender, tasty. I've seasoned this thing with just salt and pepper. Wanted to bring out the true taste of the steak on this. So, as I mentioned, if you're ever in the Welland area, stop in Country Corner Market. See Rick or his staff and buy something there, man, because they got some good cuts. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to bore you with me eating this entire steak, because I know you'll get jealous and you'll want to run out and get your own. But I'm sorry I'm talking with my mouth full, but this thing is so good. I'm going to finish the steak off, or get through it. Then we're going to come back and I'm going to put out my 3 tags for 3 individuals out there in the YouTube world that I have contacted to make sure that they wanted to do this challenge. They were all up for the task. So I'll put out the tag for them, and then I'll put their links down here in the description, or no, it's over here in the description, and you can check out their YouTube channels as well and check out what they do with their steak challenges. I've seen some really unique stuff out there. I've seen everything cooked on these steak challenges, right from nice ribeyes and porterhouses down to fancy hamburgers. And I actually seen one fella, I can't remember who it was, because he is a vegan. He actually used soy burgers. So kudos to him, because he come up with something and still wanted to participate in this this entire Show Me Your Steak challenge. So I'm just gonna drift off here for a few minutes. I'm gonna eat this bad boy up, and I'll be back with you after I change the camera angle. Of course, we can't forget Molly. She's got to enjoy hers too. She's loving the bone. Well, just finishing up the last couple bites of the steak, and Molly has offered to do the dishes today. So I must say it's been a great day so far. We're just winding down to the end of the day. I got it's 25 after 1. I need to go home and get myself all prepared for my little ice fishing jaunt up to Calendar Bay with a bunch of friends. And I can honestly say that I've been honored to be tagged for this. Once again, the fellow that tagged me was Grim Raven. Thanks for the tag. Your steak challenge was awesome. And now it comes time for me to tag 3 individuals on YouTube, so that they can do their steak challenge. So the first person I'm going to tag is a friend that I kind of met on Instagram, and he's a new YouTuber, and he's got a pretty healthy Instagram account, and he goes by the tag of James P Outdoors. James P. James is just getting into his bushcrafting. He's somebody that's learning. And you know what? He could probably use your support. So feel free to go over to his channel and give him a sub and an alert, so that you could follow his learning experience. Molly just discovered the steak paper. Molly, leave it be. Okay. So yeah. So James P Outdoors, this is your tag. I look forward to seeing your Show Us Your Steak challenge. The next individual that I would like to tag is, he goes by the channel name of Survival Metal Man. This guy's a wild man. He believes he lives down south in the States, not quite exactly sure where. This guy likes to have fun in the bush. He's like me. Is he a professional bushcrafter? No, he's just a guy that likes to get out and do his thing and has some fun out there. So Survival Metal Man, Survival Metal Man, Survival Metal Man. This is your tag. I want to see your Show Me Your Steak challenge. And the last person that I would like to tag, and this is somebody that I've just recently started following, and this guy knows his stuff. He's been doing it for a while. He's been on YouTube. He's got a pretty good following going so far. And that's Donny Pavolini Outdoors. Donny Pavolini Outdoors. This is your tag. I challenge you to do your Show Us Your Steak challenge, and tell us a little bit about what you think about mental health. So for all 3 of you, James P Outdoors, Survival Metal Man, and Donny Pavolini Outdoors, I give you 2 weeks to set up, shoot, and post your Show Us Your Steak challenge. I'm sure you guys will do a great job. Right now I could hear the coffee boiling over there. That's what I'm looking away for. Anyways, so if you guys can get that done, that would be great. I really look forward, and I look forward to seeing what kind of cuts you're going to surprise us with there on your challenges. And for everybody that's watched this, if anybody wants to talk to me, anybody that I know personally wants to talk to me about my challenges, or if anybody needs any advice or anything like that, I'm not a professional, but I always have an open ear, so please feel free to do so. I'm always available for you. And with that being said, my day's drawing to a close. I'm just going to make sure I extinguish my fire. And Molly and I are probably going to just tinker around the camp here a little bit more. And then I'm going to head home and get packed for my ice fishing trip, which I will get some footage of. So thanks again for tuning in, taking the time out of your day. I know this could be long and drawn out, but I appreciate you watching to the end. And if you are watching to the end and you do enjoy my content, we appreciate if you wouldn't mind hitting that that subscribe button and maybe the alert notification. Yesterday, I hit 100 subscribers. Made me so happy. That's a small goal. Now I'm on to 250. And I will say, this is for your ears, that I will be having a giveaway coming up. I'm just drumming up a few items to that I will give away. It'll be open to Canada and US residents, and essentially it's going to be something that's going to help me get on to my 250 subscriber mark, which I hope to have done by about the end of February. So stay tuned for that. Big giveaway. Would help if you guys could subscribe, and then, like I say, get some friends to come over and check out my channel, and that would be it. So from this point on, this is Dennis from Canoehound Adventures, and remember, keep the adventures alive.